if you're choosing to do bodybuilding, you're choosing to be good at anything, Fletcher talks about this, you have to be obsessed with it. You have to want in your bones to do this. And like, that's what I wanted. Like at that time of my life, including now, but especially at that time of my life, there was nothing that could stop me from going to the gym. It's your boy Nick with Hercules Fit, and today this is another edition of my How It All Began series. So in the last series we talked about how I lost weight. I lost 40 pounds, and after I lost that weight, I said, you know what, I want to build some muscle, I want to get jacked, so we're going to do it. So in this part of the series, I'm actually going to delve into my bodybuilding journey. 14, I start bodybuilding. I got serious into it, man. I remember every day after school, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, I rode my bike to the gym. I didn't have my parents, they worked, so I didn't have a car or anything like that. So the only way to get to the gym essentially was I had to ride my bike 2 miles to the gym and 2 miles back. I didn't give a fuck what the weather was. I didn't care if it was raining outside. I didn't care if it was snowing. Hell, Jesus could have came back. I was still gonna ride my bike to the gym. So this is why, like, when I train people now and I tell them my story, that I don't accept excuses. I'm almost getting run over by cars and shot by folks, which I'm about to get into right now. If I could do it at that age, I feel like anybody can do it when you can just hop in your car and drive there. So anyway, I'm riding my bike 4 days a week to the gym. Didn't matter what the weather was. I remember one time it was sleeting outside, and I just got back from school, and I was thinking in the back of my mind, this is gonna fucking suck. But I knew to get the gains, to get, to look the way I wanted to look, this is what was gonna have to happen. So guys, when you're going through something, have in the back of your mind, I have to do this. Like for me, at that time of my life, it was like life and death. Like when I was like 14, 15, 16, started my bodybuilding journey, there was no not go to the gym. Like I would literally turn down people that would be asking me, hey, you want to go to this party? You want to go to this? I was like, no, I got to go to the gym. And I feel like a lot of people don't have that resolve now. They don't have that fire in their bones that, you have to have if you want to be successful. If you're choosing to do bodybuilding, you're choosing to be good at anything, Fletcher talks about this, you have to be obsessed with it. You have to want in your bones to do this. And like, that's what I wanted. Like at that time of my life, including now, but especially at that time of my life, there was nothing that could stop me from going to the gym. Literally nothing. I would ride it didn't matter if I had a assignment due and I had to, finish it at 8 and ride the 2 miles to the gym at 8 o'clock at night and it's cold as hell outside. I was going to do it. And people thought I was crazy, but it got me the results that I wanted. So I did this from 14 to 18. I rode my bike or walked to the gym 4 days a week. Did that consistently for 4 years. And that's when I made the majority of my gains. But yeah, that's what I did. One thing that was happening during this time when I was around 14 to 15 is I was getting bullied in school. And that was actually one of the things that kick-started me into bodybuilding, because I was getting bullied and I wanted just armor. Because at the end of the day, I don't care what nobody say, bodybuilding, lifting weights, it's just armor you're putting on yourself. You're trying to put an armor on yourself to protect you from all the bullshit out in the world. And you could ask a lot of bodybuilders, they'll say the same thing. You ask, your Kai Greens, your Phil Heaths and all this type of, well, maybe not Phil Heath, but, your different bodybuilders, they'll tell you they were bullied in school. That's no coincidence. It's when you go through that, it never leaves you. An element of it still stays with you. And it's just putting armor on yourself. Whether you're trying to be in a bodybuilding competition and flex in front of, 20,000 people, or you just like me, you just do it recreationally, it's armor. You're putting armor on yourself to protect you from the bullshit. So, and I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying that's just the way it is. So anyway, I'm 14, 15, I'm getting bullied. And I remember there was one time, I want to say I was maybe about 15 at this time. I was in the lunch line, and a kid cut me. He was about 2 grades above me. He cut me in lunch line. So at this time in my life, I'm thinking, okay, I got to do something, otherwise I'm gonna look like a bitch, and I can't look like a bitch. So I was like, hey man, you cut me. He didn't say nothing, so I took my arm and I pushed him back and I hopped in front of him. Well, he was one of them. I didn't know it at the time, but he was like one of them drug dealer, bad kids on the block, hood type, didn't have anything to go for, living for in his life. And, he got real pissed off. He flipped my tray over and was making a big scene about it. And I'm looking at the teacher who's also in the line. I'm like, hey, this dude just cut me. He just flipped my tray over. And the teacher's response was, well, both of y'all need to just get to the back of the line if you're going to do all that. So that just brings me to like another one of my points with the public school system. This is the reason why kids end up getting suspended. They end up, always getting in fights and stuff, because the public school system doesn't do anything about that. They don't do anything about bullying. They don't do anything about anything. They just try to just put both people in trouble. So if you beat somebody up, you're going to get more in trouble than the person that you beat up, even if they was the one that started it. But I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole topic for a whole nother philosophical video. But anyway, this same kid, so after this happens, I challenge this guy to a fight. Now, looking back at it, I wouldn't have done that just because you have to know how to pick your battles. And at that time of my life, I didn't really grasp that. I'm thinking of, I'm not about to get bullied, because I've been bullied before. I know how that feels. So I got to do something. So I challenged the guy to a fight. It gets around the whole school. And I went to a pretty big school, but it gets around the whole school that I want to challenge this dude, because this dude's well known. He's a drug dealer. Everybody knows him. And after school, we're walking to he rode the bus, and, I rode my bike home. We're walking to the thing. He's at the top of the hill with all of his buddies and stuff, and it's just me. Like, I was a loner in school. I still consider myself a loner, and he's walking with all his buddies up there. It's just me, maybe one of my friends, and one of my friends is like, hey, as your friend, I would say don't do it, but as a nigga that wants to see a fight, do it. So I back out of the fight, which obviously makes me look like a bitch, obviously. But in my mind, I was just thinking, what's the use? Like, there were people that were telling me, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. And I started thinking to myself, even if I do get involved in this, say I beat him up, he's got all his buddies, they're just going to jump me anyway. So a few weeks later, I'm riding my bike home from the gym, because, I did this 4 days a week, and a car pulls out, and there's a pistol coming out of it. And it's him, and they're playing loud rap music, and he says, still want to fight. So as I'm riding my bike and I'm seeing this, I'm thinking about one thing. All I'm thinking about is don't show fear and just get the fuck home. So I'm riding my bike, I smirk at him, and I think I just said, nah. And, I just kept riding my bike or whatever, and just tried to act like I wasn't fazed by what just happened. So I tell that story just to say that you have to know how to pick your battles. Like, yes, you have to stand up for yourself. Yes, there's certain stuff you have to do, but there's some battles that you have to learn how to pick. Like, and that was just one of them that I learned from that. It was, there's just some battles that you're just not going to win. That's a battle, for example, 1-to-1. Say I would have fought him 2 weeks earlier and I would have won or lost. Say I would have won. He would have saw me then, probably would have shot me or jumped me or stabbed me or whatever the hell, and I wouldn't be here making this YouTube video for you guys. So, learn how to pick your battles, stand up for yourself, but at the same time, learn how to pick your battles and don't just blindly go into stuff out of pride. So anyway, guys, I'm doing that. I'm bodybuilding, that blows over. He eventually graduates. I never see him again. He actually ended up sending me a friend request on Facebook a few years back. Obviously, I declined it because you pulled a freaking gun on me like 8 years ago. But and this brings me back to another one of my videos about haters. So it'd be the people that were hating on you. Now they want to send you friend requests and be all buddy, and you look at where they're at in their life. They're doing worse off in their life than what you're doing. So it's just a classic example of stay with your grind, stay with what you know how to do, and you'll reap the blessings from it. So anyway, I'm working out this time, and the bullying, that pretty much stopped. By the time I was 16, I was pretty much bigger than everybody in school. Like, I had the reputation as being like the quiet, nerdy, buff guy or whatever, and nobody really messed with me. Obviously I got in like little verbal arguments and little skirmishes and stuff like that, but it was really no bullying by the time I was 16, because I was just I was bigger than just about everybody. But I started personal training people at, 16, 17, like adults, people that were like in their, 13, people that were like 3 times my age were wanting to know, hey, how do I lose weight? Because they knew about my story about me losing weight, and they knew how lean I was, and they wanted to know how to better themselves. So I helped my uncle, helped him lose 100 pounds, helped another lady lose 24 pounds, helped some other people. I was just getting my name out there. And this was around 16 or 17. And life was looking pretty good for me at that time. I had a pretty good physique at me. I was smaller than I am now, but I was training people. I was getting my name out there, and I was just ready to get the hell out of high school. So I'm pretty much in the video right there, guys. That was my story of why I started bodybuilding. Dealing with bullies, and, learning how to pick your battles, and as well as just grinding through the bullshit and just staying focused on your goals. That's really what it's going to come down to. Like when I was riding my bike, those miles when it's hot as hell outside, or it was raining, snow, and sleet and shit, all I was thinking of, I have to do this. I was thinking of, it's life and death. There is no not go to the gym. I have to do this. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this because this is what I was put here to do. So that's my message to you. Like when you're doing something that you really want to do, with this bodybuilding or anything, have the mindset of it's not optional. You have to do it. It's life and death. There is no other option. Because until you get to that mindset, you're never going to be, you're never going to reach your full potential. So guys, I'm going to end the video right there. Comment below other topics you want me to talk about. And you'll see my next video on this, my last part of the series. Well, it might not be my last part, but part 3, where I talk about my college days and bodybuilding in college, and all the stuff I went through in college, the crazy stories I have. And so yeah, love you guys. It's your boy Hercules, signing out.